Hey guys, it's Jewish, Asian, Pacific Island wrestlers you should know, sponsored by Premier Pro Wrestling. Today we're going to talk about two of the biggest in the history of the industry, Macho Man Randy Savage and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Most don't know this, but old Rand was there the day that Rocky Johnson brought The Rock to a WWE television taping. It still might have been WWF at the time. I think it was WWF at the time. To do some extra work, get a payoff, and for Vince to get a look at him. Yes, there was a time when I was in charge of booking the Midwest Extra Talent, and I was in really good graces with some of the older agents there, and some of them became my friends, especially guys like Arnold Skolin. So Rocky, Rock's father, shows up with this good-looking kid who looked, young, good-looking, built to the nines, dressed very well. And the youngsters I was with, I was very disheartened with the fact that they didn't know who the hell Rocky Johnson was. Well, Rocky Johnson always looked like $1 million, and of course I went up and made the guys come up, the youngsters come up, to introduce themselves and to pay homage to one of the greats, Rock's father, Rocky Johnson. That being said, they got there a little late, and at the time, if you did extra work or you didn't work, if you were there and you filled out your paperwork, you went and got cash from Arnold Skolin and you signed for it. The money was accounted for, but you wanted cash because if you didn't get there before Arnold closed that big silver briefcase, you were going to wait weeks to get that payoff in the mail. So right away I said, "Who's this?" "This is my boy." "Well, how you doing? You better get over there, see that guy with the big silver briefcase, hit him up for your payoff and paperwork, and brother, they're going to fold up catering," because at the time they folded up catering, and then they would only serve like fruits, vegetables, yogurt, and beverages for the rest of the taping. So he went over there and got himself situated, and all I'm going to say is at that time, just a young, humble guy's guy. I'm going to go ahead and paste Rocky's Wikipedia links in the description, so you guys can see that stuff. But I figured you'd appreciate a personal interaction because, let's face it, that is where it all began and kind of helped change the face of wrestling forever. Now, Randy Macho Man Savage. What can you say about the Macho Man, man? He started wrestling as Randy Poffo, and at some point one of the old timers said, "Man, you wrestle like a savage. People can't connect with that last name, Randy Poffo," and i.e. that became Randy Savage. Savage was the most intense athlete ever. Not just most intense wrestler ever, but most intense athlete ever. Let me give you an example or two here. So he was a catcher. He was actually signed to the majors and played minor league baseball. At a collision at home plate as a catcher, he injured his throwing arm, his throwing shoulder, which I believe was his right shoulder. Well, that didn't stop him. This son of a bitch taught himself how to throw left-handed, if you can believe that. Randy used to work on his swing, and where he used to swing the baseball bat at a hanging tire, okay? With an X on it to improve his power, to improve his grip, to improve his swing. Well, he set the pace for that because now that is being used in a lot of baseball training and development. And this guy came up with that on his own. When it came to wrestling, man, he in no way, shape, or form wanted to go out there unprepared. And a lot of guys did not like the fact that he wanted to go over and over and over things. But most of them rose and worked his style. And, of course, Savage, in some cases, when he's working with guys like old-timers like George the Animal Steele, also could meet them halfway in the middle. Savage could work with anybody, any shape, any size, and he could draw money with his intensity. And let's face it, that was his charisma as he just went out there and was himself, man. Now, personal stories with Randy Macho Man Savage. There was a guy who I actually got booked to do extra work, who had no business being there. Shame on me. I was the idiot. I had a soft spot in my heart for a short, fat, funny-looking guy. And he said, oh, there's Savage. I'm going to go up there and tell him that I went to Downers Grove High School, too. I said, but you didn't go to Downers Grove High School. You went to Westmont High School. Well, that's okay. I'm going to bullshit my way through it. Try to find that common ground. So he goes up to him, hi, Mr. Savage. I also graduated from Downers. And then he started asking about teacher this, teacher that, teacher this, teacher that. And this is like 15 years after Savage graduated high school. Called the kid out and said, you're lying, you little shit. You went to Westmont. That really blew up in that idiot's face. Then the other thing is where I was trained in the beginning, I knew something was wrong when I went out into the world and started to wrestle. I'm going to go ahead and not say names here, but this guy claimed that he was training, and so do the guys that he trained to this day, 30 years later, that they were spawned from Macho Man Randy Savage. Well, I figured I had to smarten up one way, shape, or form. My future depended on it because you are known by the company you keep in pro wrestling, and that includes who trained you. So when I asked him about this person, he said, oh, hell no, we didn't train that guy, and you make sure everybody knows it. Not Joe Barrera gets the credit for that. All we ever did with that guy is my father was running an outlaw show, and he showed up for a tryout. But no, we did not train that guy. I've never worked with that guy. So you see what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Savage, Poffo, Lanny, his brother, and Angelo Poffo, who was an outstanding innovator in pro wrestling, took this shit very seriously, as everyone should. If you want to be great, you have to study the greats. And Randy was full of activity, knowledge, and he loved this sport till his dying day. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post both Rocky and Randy Savage's Wikipedias down there, because I'm sure in the description you'll see things that you didn't know before, like I found out with Randy Savage and professional baseball. Okay, guys, once again, brought to you commercial free, sponsored by Premier Pro Wrestling. So please be cool, like, subscribe, and then the description with the links, you can also see how to help support Premier Pro Wrestling.